Hello friends, and welcome once again to a new video, a place where conversations about books slowly turn into conversations about life. In today's video, we will talk about the summary of the powerful and life-changing book Believe in Yourself by Joseph Murphy, a book that reveals one of the most important truths you can ever discover about your own mind and your own life. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine that within you, right now, there exists a silent force. A quiet presence that has been with you every second of your life. It has watched your happiest moments and your darkest fears. It has listened to every word you have ever said to yourself. It has observed every doubt, every hope, every dream you have ever carried in your heart. And the most surprising part is, it has never judged you. It has never argued with you. It has simply listened, and then it has obeyed. Most people never become aware of this force. They wake up every day believing that their life is controlled by circumstances, by luck, by other people, or by the past. They believe that their limitations are permanent. They believe that success belongs to someone else. But Joseph Murphy wanted you to understand something that has the power to change everything. He wanted you to understand that the greatest power shaping your life is not outside you. It is within you. This power is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is always active. It never sleeps. Even when you are resting, it is working. Even when you are unaware, it is listening. It listens to your thoughts, especially the thoughts you repeat again and again. And whatever you truly believe, it accepts as truth. Imagine your subconscious mind like fertile soil. This soil does not question what you plant in it. It does not care whether the seed is positive or negative. It simply accepts the seed and begins growing it. If you plant seeds of doubt, it grows doubt. If you plant seeds of fear, it grows fear. If you plant seeds of belief, confidence, and strength, it grows those too. The soil always obeys the seed. From the time you were a child, seeds have been planted in your mind. Some were planted by people around you. Some were planted by your experiences. Maybe someone told you that you were not capable enough. Maybe you faced rejection, and slowly, you began to believe that rejection was part of who you are. Maybe you failed once, and without realizing it, you began to believe that failure defined you. These thoughts did not remain just thoughts. Over time, they became beliefs. And once they became beliefs, your subconscious mind accepted them as instructions. It began shaping your behavior in ways that matched those beliefs. It created hesitation when you wanted to act. It created doubt when you wanted to try. It created fear when you wanted to grow. Not because it wanted to harm you, but because it was simply obeying the instructions you had given it. But here is the most powerful truth Joseph Murphy teaches in this book. Your subconscious mind does not care about what you believed yesterday. It only responds to what you believe now. This means no matter how many doubts you have carried, no matter how many times you have failed, no matter how long you have lived with fear, you have the power to change your life by changing what you believe about yourself. Because belief is not something you are born with. Belief is something you create. Every time you repeat a thought, your subconscious mind listens. Every time you say, I am not good enough, it listens. Every time you say, I cannot do this, it listens. And slowly, it accepts those words as reality. But the moment you begin to say, even quietly, I am capable, it listens to that too. The moment you begin to say, I believe in myself, it begins to respond. And if you are finding value in this story so far, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, because here, every book we explore is not just about reading words, but about transforming the way you see yourself and the way you live your life. Because the truth is, your subconscious mind is always shaping you, whether you realize it or not. Think about two people standing at the same starting point in life. Both have similar opportunities. Both have similar abilities. But one believes in himself, and the other doubts himself. The one who believes takes action. He tries, he learns, he grows stronger. The one who doubts hesitates. He avoids risk. He stays where he is. And over time, their lives become completely different. Not because one was more talented, but because one believed, and the other did not. Your subconscious mind follows belief like a shadow. It moves in the direction of your expectations. If you expect failure, it prepares you for failure. If you expect success, it prepares you for success. And the most beautiful part is this. The moment you begin to believe in yourself, even a little, your subconscious mind begins working in your favor. It begins strengthening your confidence. It begins changing your thoughts. It begins guiding you toward a new version of yourself. And slowly, quietly, your life begins to change. At first, you may not notice the change. Your outer world may look the same. Your routine may feel the same. The same room, the same people, the same daily life. But something deep inside you begins to shift. And that shift is invisible, but it is powerful. Because the moment you begin to believe in yourself, your mind begins to see the world differently. Joseph Murphy explained that your subconscious mind responds not only to your words, but to the pictures you create in your mind. Every time you imagine yourself as weak, your subconscious mind accepts that image. Every time you imagine yourself as confident, it accepts that image too. It does not question whether the image is real or not. It simply accepts it and begins working to make it real. This is why imagination is one of the most powerful tools you possess. Think about how many times you have imagined failure before even trying. How many times you have pictured things going wrong. How many times you have seen yourself not succeeding. Without realizing it, you were training your subconscious mind to move toward those outcomes. Your mind always moves in the direction of the image you hold most strongly. But imagine what would happen if you reversed this process. Imagine if you began seeing yourself as confident. Imagine seeing yourself speaking with certainty, acting with courage, moving forward without hesitation. Imagine yourself becoming stronger, calmer, and more capable with each passing day. At first, it may feel unfamiliar. It may even feel uncomfortable. Because your mind is used to your old identity. It is used to the old story you have been telling yourself for years. But slowly, with repetition, the new image begins to feel more natural. Joseph Murphy taught that your subconscious mind learns through repetition. Whatever you repeat consistently, it begins to accept. Whatever you accept, it begins to create. This is why your daily thoughts matter so much. Every thought you repeat is shaping your future. Every belief you accept is shaping your identity. And every image you hold in your mind is quietly influencing the direction of your life. There is a reason why some people appear naturally confident. It is not because they were born different. It is because somewhere along their journey, they began to believe in themselves. They began to see themselves differently. And their subconscious mind accepted that new identity. Once your subconscious mind accepts a belief, it begins influencing your behavior automatically. You no longer need to force yourself. You no longer need to struggle constantly. Your actions begin aligning naturally with your beliefs. This is why true confidence does not come from the outside. It comes from within. It comes from the beliefs you accept about yourself. Joseph Murphy believed that the greatest limitation people face is not their circumstances, but their own self-doubt. Self-doubt is like an invisible barrier. It stops you before you even begin. It makes you question your abilities. It makes you hesitate when opportunity appears. But self-doubt is not permanent. It is simply a belief. And beliefs can be changed. The moment you begin replacing doubt with belief, something extraordinary begins to happen. You begin to act differently. You begin to speak differently. You begin to carry yourself differently. Your posture changes. Your voice changes. Your energy changes. And people around you begin to notice it. Not because you forced yourself to change, but because your inner identity began to change. Your subconscious mind began creating a new version of you. This is how transformation really happens. Not through force. Not through struggle. But through belief. Joseph Murphy often reminded people that your subconscious mind is always working with you, not against you. It is always trying to express the beliefs you hold most deeply. If those beliefs are filled with fear, it expresses fear. If those beliefs are filled with confidence, it expresses confidence. Your subconscious mind is like a mirror. It reflects what you believe. This is why the most important relationship you will ever have is the relationship with your own mind. Because the story you tell yourself becomes the life you live. If you tell yourself that you are limited, you will live a limited life. If you tell yourself that you are capable, you will begin living a life filled with possibility. The power has always been there. Waiting. Waiting for the moment you decide to believe in yourself. There comes a moment in every person's life, whether they realize it or not, when they stand at a quiet crossroads. Nothing looks different on the outside. The same surroundings, the same routine, the same familiar world. But inside, something begins to awaken. A small realization. A quiet understanding. The realization that perhaps the limits they have been living with were never real to begin with. Joseph Murphy believed that most people live far below their true potential, not because they lack ability, but because they lack belief. They unknowingly accept a version of themselves that is smaller than who they truly are. They carry old ideas, old fears, and old stories that were never meant to define them forever. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between a belief you chose and a belief you accepted accidentally. It treats them both the same. It simply accepts what it is given and works faithfully to express it in your life. If, for years, you have told yourself that you are not confident, your subconscious mind has been working to make that true. It has been creating hesitation in your voice, uncertainty in your actions, and doubt in your decisions. Not because it wants you to suffer, but because it believes it is helping you stay consistent with the identity you have accepted. But the moment you begin to give it a new identity, everything begins to change. At first, it is only a thought. A quiet thought. A fragile thought. The thought that maybe you are capable. The thought that maybe you are stronger than you believed. The thought that maybe your past does not define your future. This thought may feel small, but it carries immense power. Because every transformation begins with a single belief. Joseph Murphy often explained that your subconscious mind is like a powerful engine. It has unlimited energy, unlimited creativity, and unlimited potential. But it can only move in the direction you guide it. If you guide it with fear, it moves toward fear. If you guide it with belief, it moves toward growth. This is why so many people remain stuck in the same place for years. Not because they cannot move forward, but because deep inside, they do not believe they can. Their subconscious mind is still operating under old instructions they never consciously chose. But you are not bound by those old instructions. You can give your subconscious mind new instructions at any time. And the most powerful way to do that is through belief and imagination. When you begin to imagine yourself differently, your subconscious mind begins to accept that image. When you repeatedly see yourself as confident, capable, and calm, your subconscious mind begins adjusting your thoughts and actions to match that image. At first, the changes are subtle. You may notice that you hesitate less. You may notice that you speak with slightly more certainty. You may notice that situations that once made you anxious no longer affect you the same way. These small changes are not random. They are signs that your subconscious mind is accepting your new identity. It is beginning to align itself with the person you are becoming. Joseph Murphy believed that your outer world is always a reflection of your inner world. Your circumstances reflect your beliefs. Your experiences reflect your expectations. Your life reflects your identity. This means that if you want to change your life, you must first change how you see yourself. Not how others see you. Not how your past defined you. But how you see yourself now. Because the version of yourself you believe in today is the version of yourself you will become tomorrow. Your subconscious mind is always moving you toward the person you believe yourself to be. If you believe you are growing, it moves you toward growth. If you believe you are becoming stronger, it moves you toward strength. If you believe you are becoming more confident, it moves you toward confidence. This process happens quietly. Day by day. Thought by thought. Belief by belief. Until one day, you realize something incredible. You are no longer the same person you used to be. You are calmer. You are stronger. You trust yourself. And the fears that once controlled you no longer have the same power. Not because the world changed. But because you changed. Because you chose to believe in yourself. And in that moment, you realize that the power was never outside you. It was within you all along. Waiting patiently. Waiting for you to discover it. Waiting for you to finally believe. There is something almost invisible about the way belief transforms a person. It does not announce itself loudly. It does not arrive with sudden noise or dramatic change. Instead, it enters quietly, like the first light of morning, slowly replacing the darkness that once filled the room. Joseph Murphy wanted people to understand that your subconscious mind is always responding to the emotional meaning behind your thoughts. It is not just the words you repeat, but the feeling behind those words that shapes your reality. When you say, even softly, "I believe in myself," and you allow yourself to feel that belief, something begins to shift deep within you. For years, many people live with an inner voice that constantly questions them. A voice that says, "You are not ready." A voice that says, "You cannot do this." A voice that reminds them of every mistake they have ever made. And over time, they begin to accept that voice as truth. But Joseph Murphy explained that this voice is not your destiny. It is simply a result of old beliefs that were repeated long enough to feel real. And just as those beliefs were created, they can be replaced. Your subconscious mind does not resist change. It accepts change when it is given clear and consistent direction. Every time you choose belief over doubt, every time you choose confidence over fear, you are giving your subconscious mind new instructions. At first, the old voice may still appear. It may still whisper familiar doubts. But its power begins to fade the moment you stop believing it. Because belief is what gives it strength. And when you withdraw that belief, it begins to disappear. Slowly, a new voice begins to emerge. A calmer voice. A stronger voice. A voice that reminds you of your potential instead of your limitations. This new voice does not shout. It does not force. It simply reminds you of who you are capable of becoming. Joseph Murphy believed that your subconscious mind is deeply connected to your sense of identity. It constantly works to keep your actions consistent with the person you believe yourself to be. If you believe you are someone who gives up easily, your subconscious mind will guide you toward giving up. But if you begin to believe that you are someone who persists, someone who grows, someone who overcomes challenges, your subconscious mind begins guiding you toward strength and resilience. This is how ordinary people transform their lives. Not through sudden miracles, but through quiet changes in belief. At some point, without even realizing it, you begin to trust yourself more. You begin to take actions that once felt impossible. You begin to step outside the boundaries that once defined you. And with each small step, your belief grows stronger. Your subconscious mind begins reinforcing this new identity. It begins creating new patterns of thought. New emotional responses. New habits. You begin to notice that situations that once filled you with fear now feel manageable. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming now feel like opportunities to grow. And this is the moment where everything begins to change. Because when you believe in yourself, you no longer wait for permission from the world. You no longer wait for perfect conditions. You begin moving forward with quiet confidence, knowing that the power you need already exists within you. Joseph Murphy wanted you to understand that you are not limited by your past. Your past was shaped by the beliefs you held then. But your future will be shaped by the beliefs you choose now. This means that at any moment, you can begin again. At any moment, you can begin seeing yourself differently. At any moment, you can begin believing in your own strength. Your subconscious mind is always ready to accept this new belief. It is always ready to work with you. It is always ready to help you become the person you were meant to be. All it has been waiting for is your belief. Because the moment you truly believe in yourself, even quietly, even imperfectly, you begin setting forces into motion that will slowly, patiently, and powerfully transform your life. Not all at once, but step by step. Thought by thought. Belief by belief. Until one day, you look back and realize that the person you once were is no longer who you are. You have become someone stronger. Someone calmer. Someone who finally understands their own power. And it all began with a single decision. The decision to believe in yourself. And as you sit here now, listening to these words, there is something important for you to understand. The power you have been searching for has never been somewhere far away. It has never belonged only to a select few. It has never been reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It has always been within you. Joseph Murphy wanted every person to realize that the moment you begin to believe in yourself, you begin to change the direction of your life. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because you become stronger. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to act with quiet confidence. You begin to move forward, not with fear, but with belief. Your subconscious mind, which has been listening to you your entire life, is still listening now. And from this moment forward, it will continue to listen to every thought you repeat, every image you hold, and every belief you accept. If you choose doubt, it will accept doubt. But if you choose belief, it will accept belief. And slowly, patiently, it will begin guiding you toward the life that matches that belief. There may still be challenges. There may still be moments of uncertainty. But something inside you will be different. You will no longer see yourself as powerless. You will no longer see yourself as limited by your past. You will understand that your thoughts are not just passing moments, but creative forces shaping your future. And one day, without even realizing when it happened, you will notice the change. You will notice that you trust yourself. You will notice that you no longer hesitate the way you once did. You will notice that you have become someone who believes in their own strength. And in that moment, you will realize that everything began with a simple decision. The decision to believe in yourself. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and allowing this conversation to become part of your journey. If this story resonated with you, if it helped you see yourself a little differently, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who may need to hear these words, and subscribe to the channel for more conversations that go beyond books and into the deeper truths about life. Your support truly means more than you know. And until we meet again in the next video, take care of yourself, trust your inner power, and never forget that the moment you believe in yourself, everything begins to change. I will see you again soon.